Hello. This is my review, my overall thoughts, my general gut feeling review, brief review for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, the 2016 film starring Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Jeremy Irons. This is just a brief review. I'm probably going to do another review at some point down the line that's a bit more in depth, a bit longer, just covers maybe a few more things. I'm just going to go off the cuff here, what comes to my mind, what I liked, what I didn't like. I'm going to start with what I think is the biggest positive for this film, and that's Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he was great as Bruce Wayne. The scenes in which he's interacting with Alfred, the scene where he's interacting with Henry Cavill as Clark Kent at Lex Luthor's party, that was fantastic. I love the suit that Ben Affleck's Batman had. I love the fight scene in the warehouse. That's arguably the greatest superhero fight scene ever filmed. Arguably, not. Don't know if you could say it definitively, but it's up there without question, top 5. I liked Amy Adams as Lois Lane. She was fine. I think I prefer the woman who plays her on Smallville. I'm forgetting her name at this current moment in time, but I think I preferred her. I like Henry Cavill as Superman, even though, go back to Smallville, I prefer Tom Welling as Superman. I think that's in part maybe because in Smallville, it's a TV show. They get more time to breathe. The characters have got more time to be fleshed out and to go on so many more adventures and to take their time to build stories and character arcs and go from plot point A to B to C to really like draw out a story. And they've got a lot more time, obviously, because it's TV. In a film, they don't have that luxury. I think Henry Cavill's good. I think he's great. Yeah, I think Henry Cavill's a solid Superman. I like his portrayal of the character. I like his suit. I liked it in Man of Steel. I like the one that he has in BVS. Ben Affleck's Batman suit though I think I prefer that one overall. I like the one he was wearing in the fight scene at the warehouse, and that you see at the start when he's putting the tracking tag on the Russians, the gang that he's tracking, and he manages to put the device on the side of the side of the lorry. I like the suit that he wears there. I like his Batmobile. And I think that Alfred, Jeremy Irons, was just brilliant as Alfred. He was a fantastic Alfred. I liked Michael. I think Michael Caine was fantastic. I liked Michael Gough, is that how you pronounce it? Gough. I liked him. I liked Alan Napier. I liked Andy Serkis in The Batman. I thought he was solid as Alfred. But I think Jeremy Irons might actually be my personal favourite Alfred, sorry. I think he was just fantastic. And if I can just go back to Ben Affleck, because I want to talk about him a fair bit, because he's the biggest positive for me in this film. He just came across to me he was just a fantastic Batman, and I think maybe he is my favourite Batman out of all the Batman actors. I think he might actually be my favourite, because he exudes the value of stoicism more than any of the rest of them, in my opinion. He just embodied that better than I think he just came across as the Bruce Wayne who has been through and has seen a lot. He says to Alfred, 20 years in Gotham, how many good guys are there still left? It comes across to me when I'm watching the film, whether it's the normal version or the Ultimate Edition, the extended cut that you can get on Blu-ray. I just get the feeling that Ben Affleck's Batman has been through a fair bit. He has seen a lot. He has battled demons. He's fought monsters. He's clocked up some mileage on the car, metaphorically speaking here, of course, and literally as well with the Batmobile. His Batmobile, it's seen a fair few things, I imagine. And I think once again, I think I've already mentioned this, but Ben Affleck's Batmobile was fantastic. I liked the Tumbler and the Dark Knight trilogy. I liked Pattinson's Batmobile. I like Michael Keaton's Batmobile, and I like the iconic 60s Batmobile. If I had to guess what the influence was for this version of the Batmobile, I would probably say it was like a combination of the Tumbler and the Michael Keaton Batman. It was like a combination between Keaton and Bale's Batmobiles merged into one for Ben Affleck. Robert Pattinson's Batmobile was obviously influenced by the Adam West Batmobile. If I had to put a bet on it, that's what I would guess. But Ben Affleck's Batmobile was Tumbler and Keaton, a bit of Bale, a bit of Keaton. What else was great in this film? I mean, just talk about the warehouse fight scene. I mean, that was just done brilliantly. The camera work, the fight choreography, the brutality of the Batman, I suppose, of this version of Batman, the fact that it's 24 guys versus one guy, and Ben Affleck manages to take on multiple guys at once. They use different weapons. You see them using blades. You see them using. You see them like at one point. He's about one of the guys about to throw a grenade. You see them at one point. Even one of the guys shoot Ben Affleck's bat gun. He's trying to use the rope to throw them about, and the guy actually takes that out, and then it becomes like a fist fight between like knives involved and weapons. And I think at one point one of them's got a chain, if I remember correctly. And I just loved the fact that Ben Affleck's Batman was countering them all at once. It wasn't like one at a time, one after another. They were ganging up on him, and he was succeeding. He was taking them out. He was handling it in the most Batman way possible, and it was just epic. Zack Snyder's filming in that scene was phenomenal. I really enjoyed the Tom Hardy Bane and the Christian Bale Batman fight scenes in The Dark Knight Rises, and I like Pattinson's Batman's fight scenes. Michael Keaton's Batman fight scenes were also all right, and Val Kilmer as well. I won't mention George Clooney. I think Ben Affleck, he just had the best Batman fight scenes out of them all. To me, that was just all round positive. That fight scene alone, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why I would recommend this film to someone. And then another one of the reasons why is the scene in which Alfred talks to Bruce Wayne in the Batcave, and he gives that excellent monologue, that fantastic line of how powerlessness turns good men cruel, and he talks about how the gods fall from the sky, the gods fall from the sky, the innocents die, and they throw thunderbolts or something akin to that. Sorry if I'm butchering it a little bit, but he starts it off by saying, that's how it starts, sir. The rage, the fever, the feeling of powerlessness. And they even reference at one point Mask of the Phantasm when Jeremy Irons and when Bruce and Alfred are in the Batcave, and they're talking about a newspaper, and they're not too sure if this person or this boat or something is real. And Jeremy Irons says it could be a phantasm, which was obviously a reference to Mask of the Phantasm, the 90s animated film with Kevin Conroy, which nice little callback. I just loved that scene. It was dripping with atmosphere. The set design was fantastic. I loved that version of the Batcave. And just go again, Jeremy Irons, the way he looks when he's working on the Batman's helmet, that was just fantastic. And interesting enough, though, that helmet I don't think we got to see Ben Affleck's Batman wear that helmet. We got to see him wear the bat suit against Superman with the big clunky suit. But I personally actually wasn't that big of a fan of that suit. I think that suit wasn't the greatest. I think they should have went for a more Iron Man-like suit, but I can understand maybe why they didn't, because they might have thought that they were going to be accused of just of stealing from Iron Man, just looking at Iron Man and then mimicking what he's done and with Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark and just doing a complete carbon copy of that. But I feel like the bulky suit didn't really work for me, and especially because there was a huge gap around the mouth. And I just feel like if Superman went rogue and really wanted to dent Batman, he would have just targeted the mouth and tried to destroy his jaw and inflict an insane amount of pain upon him. And I also feel like what could have happened, what should have happened, was that Ben Affleck's Batman has obtained some rare element, some rare metal, like adamantium for Wolverine or vibranium in the Marvel with Captain America's shield and Black Panther suit, or like in Tony Stark with Tony Stark and Iron Man 2, he develops a new element. I feel like Ben Affleck's Batman should have had like a new element, new metal, new like defense, some sort of upgraded version of Kevlar, if you will, for a suit that explains why it can withstand Superman so well. There should have been some sort of an explanation for that. And I know you do see him using kryptonite, and that weakens Superman, obviously. But I actually feel like there should have been a bit more of a background story how Batman created that suit. It should have, and it shouldn't have had that gap in the face, and it should have had. I think it could have had a better design. It could have and should have had a better design. I love the suit that he's wearing during the warehouse fight scene, but that suit wasn't the best. And also, there's here's to get into some of the negatives. Why didn't he wear that suit if he was wearing it to fight Superman? Why didn't he wear that suit to fight Doomsday at the end? I mean, what was the thinking in that? How did he not realise his best bet would be to wear a suit like that against Doomsday if he wore it against Superman? Doomsday was a bit more powerful than Superman. Fair bit more powerful than Superman. And he chose to wear the suit that he wears to the warehouse fight scene. I don't think that was a very smart move on their part. And also, I want to mention the fact that Doomsday, in my opinion, just felt rushed in this film. Sorry to go back to Smallville, but in Smallville, they fleshed the character out more, and I just feel like this was just completely rushed. And Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, that was a massive negative, and I think I might actually end it there. I'm going to end it there because I might do another review on Batman v Superman and talk about the negatives. I talked a lot about the positives, but I'm going to end it there, actually. Thanks for watching.